welcome back. I'm excited to be bringing you along with me as I set up for February and Imbolc. This year, I am working with a few set colors. I'm trying to see how long I can keep working with a few main colors and just swapping out my accents. So you'll see some of the same Crayola super tips for this setup that I used last setup. So to celebrate Imbolc, I of course am using a candle again, but I'm also doing cinnamon and bay. And that cover page you saw me ink in, I used a Yooker's felt tip refillable fountain pen, and it has Noodler's black ink in it. Now I'm moving on to my calendar setup. Similarly to the last few months, I'm doing a bit of a Dutch door theme with it. Um, so you'll see me trim off some bits here, and I really went back and forth about that bottom bit, about whether I wanted to cut it or leave it. You see me just flipping back and forth, sort of staring at it. And I finally decided to keep it so that I could have a little more space for my goals, because that's what's going along the bottom. I have 3 categories of goals and then some space to write things about the next month. So if you watched my annual setup video, you know that I did a tarot draw for the year and came with phrases for each month's tarot card. And last month I put it along the side of my calendar, and I'm doing that again this time. This month my phrase is refresh. It also could have been consider the magic of color, but that seemed a bit long, and I feel like refresh is probably going to be what I need the most. So um, yeah, I'm drawing in cinnamon sticks and bay leaves to surround it. I love this combination of doodles for the month. It feels just like such a great balance of what February is to me. This sort of in between time where things are starting to become green where I live, but still pretty dull and muddy and still kind of wintry. Like I want to be having lots of cinnamon, but also green. Oh, and here's Melville coming to visit. He was very interested in this. So you see, I'm using the same green Crayola super tip, and a few moments ago, oh, this is the brown Artist Loft dual tip watercolor pen. A few moments ago, I used a fountain pen with Robert Oster's Honeybee ink in it. I've put that in my other Yooker's felt tip pen, but it was still moving down to the feed. I don't know the appropriate term for that, but the felt tip pen was still getting the ink down to it at this time, so I used an old pen. On the back here, I am doing my tarot and habit tracker again. The opposite direction from last month, just because of the way the spacing worked out. There wasn't quite enough room to do it the other way, and it's nice to change things up from time to time. It kind of keeps me on my toes. And now I'm going back that the ink dried enough to erase so I can color in my candles. As you saw, I used the gray, the brown, the yellow mild liner, and the gray was the Pitt Artist pen. Sorry for cutting off some of this here. I think I shifted it when Melville came to visit and just didn't realize what I had done until later. Next, I'm moving on to my, well, should have moved on to my cleaning chart here, but I didn't want to deal with the measurements first, so I decided to go ahead and set up for my first weekly. I'm trying something a little different for my weeklies here. It's both a faux Dutch door and a real Dutch door. I know, crazy. So the days are the faux Dutch door style where I fold it over, and the top is a true Dutch door where I have the different things I want to track for the month across the top, or for the week, not the month. So it has a space to write my meals, it has a space to track off things that I do daily. I have um, a new habit I'm trying to form about face care, and there are people who I try to check in with daily. And then also a space to write down my tarot card. I just don't update my monthly tracker as frequently as I should, so I love being able to write it down as I go. So now I'm moving on to the page that will be my cleaning tracker, and on the opposite side, I wanted to do a mental inventory. Again, apologies that some of this is cropped off, but I'm doing cinnamon and bay, and I'm trying to just leave a lot of space for it so that I have lots of room for mental inventory. If you aren't familiar with the idea of a mental inventory, it's from the book, The Bullet Journal Method, and you divide your page into 3 columns and work on lists that go in those columns. So things you are working on, things you should be working on, and things you wish you could be working on. So I haven't decided whether I'll do a true mental inventory or use it more like a brain dump and just do a list of everything that's going on. On the left, I'm returning to my cleaning wheel, though I am changing things up a bit. Um, it's been a while since I've done a true cleaning wheel. I think last spring I was doing them more frequently. So yeah, this I don't know. The moths last month were really fun, but I felt bad when I skipped things because they didn't need to be done. Like one week, I just didn't need to dust another week in a row. Wasn't that much dust. And so my moth was incomplete, and that made me sad. So I thought the wheel tracker would be better on that front. So you'll notice that the wheel tracker only covers about half of the wheel. In the bottom, I left space under that. Does look like a move is in my future, and so I'm breaking down areas of my life and my home that will need more in-depth cleaning and trying to do some of those each month, each week, each quarter, etc. And I thought it would be nice to have the space there to just write out what I decide I'll work on once I do my January review. Um, yeah, and here's my final flip through. So I have the cover page here, the calendar with my goals along the bottom, my phrase along the right side. You can see writing in school there, and then other goals, and then notes for March, and my tracker. Then the cleaning, which got a little wonky and I was kind of sad about, but oh well. And the mental inventory. Then my first weekly with my days and my faux Dutch door down there at the bottom. And my real Dutch door across the top with my trackers. And that's it for my February and Imbolc setup. Thanks so much for coming along with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.